So speaking about the enemies of Christian liberty, we have kind of made the case that legalism, though it sounds good, it sounds really Christian, and it sounds very strongly Christian because it is based on Christian rules and Christian traditions and Christian laws, that it's still wrong. And Paul basically is making, in the book of Galatians, he's making the claim that this is the worst thing there is in Christianity. Basically, he's saying it there. It's as bad as it gets, which is shocking because, of course, when you look at Christian, maybe you could say liberalism. What I'm talking about is antinomianism, that you hate laws and regulations in Christianity. It sounds like that just runs, off the chart in the wrong direction. And probably to keep the laws and the rules and the regulations, it leads to a more Christian-looking life. But Paul is making the case in Galatians 5:1 that this is not freedom, this is not the Christian freedom, and legalism is no solution to that problem. There's a far better solution. God has something better for us. And we talked about the way that legalists usually try to entice you or scare you into their scheme. But we haven't talked about the other side, and this is not in the writings of Paul actually, but in 2 Peter 2:19, well, maybe 18 and 19, Peter talks about this, and this is the unchristian freedom in Christianity that people like to, some people like to claim, usually as a reaction to legalism, or just because cultural influences, because everybody's saying, oh, everything is okay, there are no absolutes and all kinds of other trash. And then Christians take it like as their own, and then they try to live Christian life like that, which just doesn't work. But let me read 2 Peter 2:18. For when they speak great swelling words of vanity, they allure through the lusts of the flesh, through much wantonness, those that were clean escaped from them who live in error. So basically it's saying there are people who are speaking big fluffy words that sounds very pleasing, but they are really just feeding the desires of the flesh, and they are trying to allure, to entice those who have actually escaped the world, who have escaped all the evil of the world, saying, oh, everything is okay, there is no such thing as sin, you can just do whatever you want, or other. I've heard these things, that's why I'm quoting it. So let me read verse 19. While they promise them liberty, they themselves are the servants of corruption, for of whom a man is overcome, of the same he is brought in bondage. So the other side, the unchristian freedom that some Christians seem to see, the freedom from the Bible, the freedom from the truth, the freedom from holiness, the freedom from following Christ, that whole thing. It's basically it's saying that they promise liberty, but of course it's not real liberty, because actually they are the servants of corruption. It's very enticing. It is an invitation to pleasure, to the desires of the flesh, to pride, to ambition, to self-promotion, whatever it is, and not the cross of Christ, not something beautiful that we find in Jesus, but that side. And it's saying that is just as evil as legalism is. Peter, the Apostle Peter, is talking about that, and it's such a great point, because he says they are the servants of corruption, for of whom a man is overcome, of the same he is brought in bondage. So basically Peter is saying, because these people claim that their freedom is to do sin, and that's okay, and God is not expecting anything from us, and we don't need to go anywhere with him, and so on, God is not expecting it, so that means we don't need to go anywhere, we're just good as we are, we can just live in our sin. Well, that person living in their sin is actually a slave of sin, and he's a representative of sin, and that is a trap. And don't go that way, because God has prepared something better for us. So I'll just leave you with those thoughts. Just churn, please, just chew on it and enjoy that. And God bless your day with the Lord.